In a quiet mountainous terrain, Lloyd toils under the warm spring sunlight, vigorously planting a signpost in the ground to mark the planned site for the backstone mine construction. He shares his plans to mine backstone, a type of coal, to address the upcoming firewood crisis caused by the Andal heating system he introduced. Lloyd reveals that he discovered records of the previous lord's failed attempts to develop the mine due to unstable ground and collapsed tunnels. He emphasizes the significance of mining coal as the main source of income and a solution to the firewood shortage. Javier questions Lloyd's motives, suspecting deception, but Lloyd calmly explains his strategy to sell coal to the residents, ensuring both Andal heating adoption and secondary revenue. As the conversation progresses, Lloyd unveils his comprehensive plan to resolve the territory's debt, combining Andal heating distribution and coal sales. Javier grapples with his feelings towards Lloyd's cunning methods but eventually acknowledges the necessity of the plan. Lloyd, aware of the criticism he may face, reassures Javier that saving the territory is the top priority. Later, Lloyd dedicates himself to planning the mine construction, opting for the shield method to navigate the fragile ground. Lloyd waits until nightfall, draws a new fantasy species from the system, and is surprised by the unexpected creature that emerges. Lloyd got a new companion named Bangul through a random drawing. Bangul is a chubby, two-toned snake with extraordinary abilities. Lloyd realizes that Bangul can consume dirt and produce steel beams, offering incredible potential for construction. Lloyd devises a plan to use Bangul and a shield device for tunnel excavation, allowing for efficient construction with immediate steel reinforcements. With the help of a team of workers and the shield device, they successfully excavate a tunnel, and the construction project gains momentum. As construction continues, Lloyd is constantly monitoring the progress underground, dealing with challenges such as ventilation issues and potential dangers like methane gas layers. Despite the sweltering heat and exhaustion, Lloyd remains focused on the goal of reaching the coal seam. As the tunnel nears completion, the workers and Bangul celebrate the achievement, with the anthracite coal seam finally within reach. After uncovering a coal seam, the workers are about to celebrate, but the atmosphere turns tense when giant ants unexpectedly emerge. Lloyd and Javier take charge. Javier fights off the ants while Lloyd suggests an unconventional plan, to charge through the ant tunnel to find a solution. They run deeper into the tunnel, facing dangers, with Lloyd hoping to reach a methane gas layer that might help them. On a sunny afternoon, Barren Frontera is interrupted by a frantic soldier reporting the appearance of formidable beast ants in a tunnel Lloyd was excavating. Realizing the imminent danger, the Baron decides to personally join the battle, surprising everyone as he equips himself for combat. Meanwhile, Lloyd and Javier, facing a relentless swarm of beast ants in the tunnel, continue their desperate fight. Lloyd desperately searches for a methane gas layer below the ant tunnel, a potential solution to their predicament. As they find the methane, a colossal queen ant confronts Javier, forcing him to engage in a fierce battle. Lloyd, successfully releasing the methane gas, triggers a massive explosion, creating a blast that engulfs everything. The massive queen ant unexpectedly becomes their shield, saving them from the explosion. Their journey takes an ominous turn when they encounter a collapsed passage, realizing they might be trapped. The cave shakes, dust clouds their vision, and the urgency of their limited oxygen becomes apparent. Lloyd, with unconscious Bangul in tow, urges Javier to awaken him for a crucial purpose. Facing the dire circumstances, Lloyd prepares for a final showdown, understanding that their survival depends on the wise use of accumulated relationship points. He opens his skill menu, revealing the option to enhance talents. Recalling the absorption and manipulation of mana from his Azrahan technique, he invests his remaining RP to skillize and enhance it. The process involves a gamble, but Lloyd succeeds, achieving a double circle level 1 rank. With skill options unlocked, he activates Energizer to tirelessly dig through the debris, revealing a passage ahead. As the option expires, exhaustion sets in, prompting him to use Power Burst for a final, powerful push. The intense digging pays off, creating a fist-sized hole through which Padong, the hamster, appears. Lloyd's strength gives way at the brink of success, leaving him on the verge of unconsciousness, yet hope lingers as a pathway to survival emerges. With Padang's assistance, Lloyd rescues Javier, who had fallen unconscious. The collapsed tunnel pushes them to the brink, but Lloyd, fueled by a newfound skill option, breaks through, and they are rescued by the Baron and others. Lloyd falls into a deep sleep, and heartwarming rumors spread about his heroic actions. As the Baron and his wife care for Lloyd, they await his awakening, and after 4 days, he opens his eyes, receiving praise and rewards for his courageous leadership. Lloyd, having successfully completed the coal mine construction, is now focused on safety inspections. His meticulous approach earns the trust of the workers and soldiers under his command. To everyone's surprise, the seals on Baron Frontera's property disappear, thanks to Lloyd's consistent efforts in paying off debts and managing the underfloor heating construction business. Despite his achievements, Lloyd remains vigilant, ensuring the safety of the mine before its official opening. Meanwhile, during an inspection of the ant nest beneath the mine, Lloyd and Javier discover a strange orcish sword and an orc warrior seemingly paralyzed by ant venom. Lloyd discovers Arash, a young orc paralyzed by ant venom. Lloyd saves him, envisioning the use of orc strength in his mining operations. Arash, bound by orc traditions, can't serve a non-warrior. Lloyd presents a plan, showcasing the head of a queen ant as proof of collaboration. Arash, impressed, agrees to help Lloyd earn warrior qualifications. Unaware of Lloyd's motives, Arash pledges assistance, setting the stage for an unexpected alliance. Lloyd reflects on the chaos caused by bringing an orc to the mansion, reassuring the Baron of potential benefits. He saves Arash from ant venom and proposes a deal, orc labor for the mine. Arash hesitates due to traditional beliefs but eventually agrees, unaware of Lloyd's hidden agenda. Lloyd tricks Arash into thinking they collaborated on catching a queen ant, using it as leverage to fulfill his request. The naive orc agrees, sealing their partnership and unknowingly becoming a pawn in Lloyd's larger scheme. Lloyd had convinced the Baron to allow him a risky visit to the orc tribe, with 30 soldiers as an escort. Arash guides the group through the dangerous eastern mountains, reaching the orc encampment safely. Arash, with the energy of a charging Ural Mountain wild boar, reunites with his father, Chief Akush, in a powerful clash. The orc warriors celebrate Arash's coming-of-age ceremony, praising his accomplishments. Lloyd reflects on the plan's success, bringing Arash and the orc chieftain's trust. In a grand meeting, Chief Akush acknowledges Arash's achievements and recognizes Lloyd as a warrior after presenting the queen ant's head as a trophy. Lloyd cleverly diverts the challenge by proposing to construct food preservation structures, exploiting the orcs' vulnerability to food shortages due to their lack of technology for preserving hunted meat. In doing so, he secures his status as a warrior and gains an opportunity for construction projects, effectively achieving his dual objectives. Lloyd proposes to build an ice house for the orcs, who lack magic for cooling. Chief Akush is initially skeptical but agrees upon Lloyd's convincing explanation. To secure construction materials, Lloyd plans to extract granite from the eastern mountains. Knowing the difficulty of working with granite, he asks Javier if he can use his sword to split rocks. Javier claims he can split rocks up to a meter with his sword, leading to a discussion on Lloyd's expectations. In a surprising twist, Lloyd proposes teaching Javier a technique to create holes and cause explosions in rocks using a single sword, making the seemingly impossible task achievable. Lloyd proposes to teach Javier a technique called confined blasting, where 2 mana circles are forcibly collided to create a controlled explosion. Javier is initially skeptical, as such a technique is unheard of in his experience as a swordmaster. Lloyd challenges Javier to attempt the technique, and to everyone's astonishment, Javier successfully executes it, creating a 10-meter deep hole in the ground. Lloyd, filled with hope for the potential of this new skill, sees it as a revolutionary method for quarrying stones. Javier agrees to follow Lloyd's instructions willingly, and their collaboration for the construction project begins with the successful demonstration of confined blasting. Under the command of Lloyd's enthusiastic instructions, and assisted by a group of knowledgeable orcs, the construction of the ice storage facility progressed rapidly. Javier's explosive techniques and Padang's transportation capabilities complemented each other, moving granite chunks efficiently. However, the heavy lifting of stones for the walls became a challenge, and injuries among the engineering corps were on the rise. Arash's absence further complicated the situation. Unexpectedly, orc spectators, witnessing Lloyd's struggle, intervened with their weightlifting expertise. Their immense strength and skill turned the construction site into a muscle showcase, and Lloyd cleverly played along, pretending to struggle for the benefit of the orcs. With their assistance, the walls and the arch-shaped ceiling of the icehouse were completed swiftly, exceeding Lloyd's expectations. The project is almost finished and only missing the insulation. Lloyd sent soldiers back to the barony for materials. Days pass without their return, raising concerns. Lloyd, sensing something amiss, sends Javier to investigate. Lloyd, equipped with knowledge from a novel, decides to confront the sorcerer responsible, promising retribution. The duo embarks on a perilous journey into the Progia Gorge. In the depths of Progia Gorge, Lloyd and Javier face the ominous entrance to a dungeon. The dark surroundings and Javier's warnings couldn't deter Lloyd's determination. Despite Javier's concerns about the dangerous magician inside, Lloyd revealed a plan involving the Azrahan technique. Using knowledge from the novel Night of Blood and Iron, they proceeded cautiously through the dungeon, with Lloyd handling physical traps and Javier detecting runes. As they approached the laboratory of the Dark Mage, an inescapable trap triggered, sealing them in with steel barriers and releasing a sleep-inducing gas. However, their composed demeanor and a sense of déjà vu from past adventures gave them an unexpected advantage, leaving the Dark Mage's confidence shattered. The deadly Asphonia aroma gas filled the confined space, intended to induce eternal slumber. Lloyd, having prepared with insomnia leaves, remained unaffected, while Javier, an insomniac, felt only a mild drowsiness. As Javier yawned, they decided to break through the steel barriers by digging a tunnel. Using his formidable digging skill with the Energizer option, Lloyd quickly created a tunnel, and they emerged near the Dark Magician's location. The magician activated a toxic liquid spell, but Javier effortlessly sliced through it with his sword, surprising the magician. In retaliation, the magician summoned enhanced ghouls, boasting about their strength. However, Javier, with a chilling flash of light and an icy wind, effortlessly dispatched the ghouls. Realizing his impending demise, the Dark Magician contemplated his fate. In a tense confrontation between the Dark Mage Lepellin and Javier, fear gripped the former as he realized escape was impossible. The Dark Mage, desperate and angered, faced impending doom. However, an unexpected intervention occurred as Lloyd appeared and ordered Javier to spare the Dark Mage for the time being. Lloyd revealed that the Dark Mage had something important to discuss. It turned out the Dark Mage had kidnapped soldiers and stolen construction materials for a forbidden research, reviving the dead. The Dark Mage, expressing remorse, promised to release the soldiers and offered Lloyd a box of magical reagents as compensation. The Dark Mage, emotional and tearful, decided to abandon his research and start anew. However, Lloyd's tone abruptly changed, revealing the Dark Mage's status as a serial killer. Lloyd orders Javier to enforce the kingdom's laws, and the knight delivers a merciless judgment. Lloyd and Javier successfully rescued weakened soldiers from a dungeon filled with magical traps. Lloyd, not just a powerful warrior but also a compassionate leader, took on the responsibility of carrying burdens and encouraging the soldiers along the way. As they reached the orc stronghold, Lloyd promptly started the construction of an icehouse to preserve food. However, realizing it wasn't as cool as expected, Lloyd revealed his plan to make ice using the Azrahan technique. With the help of fantastical beings, Padang and Bangul, and a special application of the Azrahan technique, Lloyd receives a pleasant surprise as he successfully raises the skill level of his Azrahan technique, enhancing his ability to create ice. The process involves absorbing warm mana from the water, gradually lowering its temperature until it freezes. Lloyd is pleased with the results, and his newfound skill level unlocks various options, marking a significant accomplishment. With determination and concentration, he tirelessly continues making ice throughout the night, successfully completing the icehouse by dawn. The completed icehouse impresses Chief Akush and the orcs, who appreciate the refreshing coldness inside. Lloyd also fulfills promises made with Arash and the orc tribe, gaining not only exercise equipment but also the commitment of 120 orc warriors to aid in Frontera Barony.